and the current quarterback problem.
All
Well,
right.
not a problem, but as we all know, Jimmy G um, might not play a snap for the Raiders. And I mean, I think we can both say we agree with how the contract was written. Um, what are your thoughts on the quarterback? Uh,
As in, like Jimmy being
yeah,
hurt, or
yeah, Jimmy being
I
hurt.
mean, like I said, I mean, I think Ziegler and Josh knew. I mean, I think Ziegler knows what he's doing. I mean, I don't think he's a fool. Like I've said, I think that when they knew that Jimmy's foot was injured, I think that's why it took the day to begin with. We spoke on this numerous times, even when it was going on, that
Yeah,
they felt that there was an issue that was still going. But then they came back the following day, and then Jimmy said out of his own mouth that it was just language in the contract. So Jimmy was comfortable with the way, obviously, however the
yeah,
language was in there, to be good with this. So for me, if I'm sitting here thinking about, like, look, if Jimmy's not here and O'Connell goes, great. You know, like, I have no issue with it. I've said I think the kid's got a really good arm. He'll thread a needle in a haystack. I mean, this
yeah, he
guy's
will.
got really good accuracy. Is it going to get him in trouble sometimes and get interception? Yeah, but at the same time, with people like Devontae Adams, I mean, fucking, you can make those plays and become big plays. So for me, I think at the end, I think with where we're at, and not only that, with Tom Brady becoming owner inside the franchise right now, I think, like, you got so many viable options at the moment. It ain't even funny. I don't think Tom Brady goes in and puts 50 million plus and tries to buy into the Raiders just to watch his team lose. I think Brady's going to want to do the best that he can to have have the team
A
at
winning
winning,
team.
and even if that means for him to suit the fuck up,
Yeah,
I would not put it past him. So people can
yep,
sit and say, well, if he was going to do it, he would have did it sooner. I don't agree. I think Brady had so many things going on. I don't think he even knew himself where he was going to be at, or what they were going to be doing. For me, I think what happened is Brady finally probably got all his business shit settled, his things settled, and I think he's fine with just being buying into the team.
yeah,
But at the same time, when you got Ziegler and you got Ziegler, you got Josh, you got all these dudes coming together here right now, and he wants to be a part of it and invest into it. And then now there's even the realism that he could even be a quarterback within the organization right now. I mean, I think
yeah,
that's crazy as fuck. So
yeah,
to sit here and think at the end of the day, if you were to go to Brady and just be like, man, Brady, we don't have a quarterback, that Jimmy's going to be out the whole entire year. Look at the roster we're putting together. Hey, you might even have an option at D Hops too at the exact same time, if you were to make a move like that. And that's implying that he doesn't sign with one of these teams before then.
yeah.
But I think we'd find this out pretty fast within post June 1st, and that's just right around the corner. I mean, how many days away are we? We're 2 days away, 2 days away from it. So for me, I think you can see a lot of things happen here. I think you can see most definitely watching Hunter Renfrow get traded, get that 10 mil, 11 mil, 11.8 mil back, take a 10 million or a $5 million
What
dead cap,
do
and
you
then
think
take
that?
that money, get Hopkins, bring him over here, and then it only makes Brady lick his
So,
chops even more to say
yep.
that he can be throwing a ball to Hopkins and Adams with
Well,
Mays at
I guess
his
my
deal.
question to you would be when they talked to him about the ownership, do you think they mentioned to him about possibly starting on this team this year?
I mean, I think there's probably talk, like, joking with Mark, where he was like, sure wish we would have signed you, or sure wish we would have
Yeah,
got you type shit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, I don't know if there was, like, I don't know if you're, I don't know what type of personal talks they're having.
yeah,
I mean, this is the thing where I think maybe they could have, because I keep trying to tell people, You got a 7-time Super Bowl winner, has 0 ties to the Raider besides just owning us on the football field while he's played, literally. And he has 0 ties to us, dude. 0 whatsoever, dude. He could have went to Miami, the Niners. He could have went to the Steelers. He could have went to Baltimore. He could have went to any winning organization and put his brand on it. Yeah, he chose us and Josh McDaniels and Ziegler. Like, that's the thing where this talking about firing Josh. You can keep talking that bullshit, but I'll tell you right now, the second that Brady gets fucking affirmed as the motherfucking owner in the owners meeting here next month, or even this month, it might be this month. I think it's next month. But long story short, when he gets affirmed, guess who ain't getting fired? Guess who ain't going no fucking where? Ziegler and Josh are here to stay. They probably get like lifetime contracts at that time. Because the thing is Brady knows exactly what he can do, what he's capable of doing. He knows what both of those types of people are capable of doing. And he wouldn't go and invest that type of money in a dude that's going to fail for him. At the end of the day, when people say, well, he could be investing for money purposes. I just named 5, 6 Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I can name 10 other teams that have a way better fucking financial setting in investment money than the fucking Vegas Raiders do by far. And if you're just banking on season tickets being sold, as in like the stadium, that's crazy as hell. Yeah, the stadium's going to be sold like that, but so is the Cowboys every game. So it's not like you can't go to places that aren't going to have it and have winning, where they're getting more money, sponsors, things of these. So for me, when people want to say like, oh, it's money, I don't think it is. I think it's personal for him. I think it's personal that Josh has probably been attacked for so fucking long, and that people are already attacking him when he's sitting here probably thinking the same shit I was thinking, where I'm like, bro, you literally had one fucking receiver, you had one halfback, and you got 3,500 fucking yards between the two of them with 26 touchdowns. You produced more. I think it's personal for Brady, in my opinion. I think Brady wants to come here and let him succeed.
And I mean, let's talk about it. I mean, within the hate for McDaniels, it's really not even deserving. He created a top 13 offense. And
top 12. He was 12th overall. And not only that, he was the 12th overall offense, but he had the 5th. He was top 5 in scoring in the end zone. So that's way better than Gruden ever fucking did, or anybody else here by a mile.
Well, and that narrative, I mean, you've probably heard so many times how he had a bad offense in the red zone.
Yeah, they're crazy. He had the 5th best.
Yeah. Also,
he had the 5th best offense in there, and that's what tells you just dudes don't read shit. They don't know shit. They don't study our team.
Or the fact that people truly sit here and say that it was McDaniel's fault for the team's failures. Where was the defensive coordinator saying? Where's the blame for Patrick Graham?
Patrick Graham had the 30th worst defense in all football. He has the exact same stats. As Paul Guenther and Gus Bradley. If you think I'm full of shit, go look it up and then get back to me and let me know. They're identical, minus a few points up or a few points down. That's it. Their shit's fucking identical all the way across. Gus Bradley, Paul Guenther, and fucking Patrick Graham all have the exact same defense. The spitting image, dude. So it doesn't matter if one looks better or one looks different or this and that. The statistic stats are exactly the same. Can't go into somewhere and say, I have the 12th best offense, I have the 30th ranked defense, but the problem's the offense. You're fucking stupid. You'd be fired, bro. You would be out of a fucking job. You wouldn't even have a job. Like, you wouldn't have a job and nobody would want to hire you, because when you're going in and making stupid ass business decisions like that, you end up, like they say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You'll get fired.
Well, like I said, how about we bring up what we were just talking about when we talked about when we talked about Gruden and versing the Raiders in this upcoming Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, for me,
the greatest script written.
Yeah, I think it could be the greatest script written in all football ever, because I think you have, look, a lot of people don't know that not only, so look, Gruden Gruden's been reported to be over there in the Saints, helping Derek Carr understand Peyton's offense because they come from the same link tree. They come from the same type of system. And Gruden's take out of his own time. Now, listen, to me, I thought Gruden was fighting court cases. I didn't even know that Gruden was even allowed in people's faculties, let alone to go play with anybody. Gruden takes the time, not only fighting the court case, going against Roger Goodell, packs his shit up, hauls over to the Saints, dude, to go and help out Derek motherfucking Carr. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, boy, this has got to be a fucking slap in the face. This guy's out for vendetta like a motherfucker. So, long story short, what we were talking about is, as I said, a lot of people don't know next year's Super Bowl. You still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, hell, my phone's ringing. All right. A lot of people don't know that next year's Super Bowl is in New Orleans. So I've said, dude, like, if you're going to go into this year with the roster that we have a pretty good roster. I don't care what people want to think or not. And they can sit and say whatever they want. When you're looking at the end of the day in the offense and the defense, the offense is substantially better, miles better than it was last year by far. And
because we got receiving depth.
Exactly. We have continuity with down, and we don't got Matt Collins as our number 2 wide receiver. Like, we got fucking Jacoby Myers, dude. Like, then we got Renfro, we got fucking Tucker. I mean, we got Dorsett. We got fucking 30 dudes behind them that are every bit fucking capable as the 3 or 4. So I mean, there's no doubt in that. So what I was saying is like, if you wanted to see one of the greatest scripts written, is you got Gruden with Carr come back here to Vegas and face the Raiders, and people would be like, well, that's crazy. The Raiders ain't going to go to the Super Bowl. Well, I want to disagree with you, but look, let's just say that we don't go into the defense and go get all these fucking players, or go spend $15 million on Patrick Peterson. What happens if we took $15 million or $20 million and went and got DeAndre Hopkins and put fucking Tom motherfucking Brady over there, and now Tom Brady's 2 receivers is Davante Adams and DeAndre Hopkins? And you got Josh Jacobs still. You'd have to trade Renfro because you'd need more money to be up. So he'd be gone.
You have Jacoby Myers to replace that.
But that's my point. You have so much depth here. You would have one of the most ruthless offenses in all football by a mile. And not only that, you would have one of the best generals in all of football leading that team down the field. And then let's go back. People are going to say, well, Tom Brady, he needs an offensive line to be able to get shit done.
He got one.
Well, guess what? They were the top 10 ranked offensive line last year, and we picked up some pretty good fucking players here in this offseason right now. So there's no doubt in my mind that this line can be way better going forward this year than it was last year.
Justin, I would say this offensive line's got about 9 to 11 guys that can go out there and play.
Yeah, and I just think a lot of people, man, like, I've always said I don't believe that the NFL is scripted. I mean, I think it'd be pretty hard, but at the same time, when you're just looking at all the shit that's going on, it's like, how in the fuck can it not be? You know what I mean? Like, there's just too much shit. Like, who would have fucking thought Gruden, man? Like, Gruden, to me, I've known that motherfucker my whole life, one of my most favorite coaches of all. Yeah. Who in the fuck would you have read an article thinking that this dude gonna be over there in the Saints? Like, hey, what Justin. The hell? And then the Derek Carr dick riding is true, bro. Like, that shit is true, dude. Like, you got a Hall of Fame coach, bro. That's one of the best offensive minds in all of football. Literally just said, hey, I'm gonna go help my boy out, and then convinced the Saints to let him. Like, that's even more crazy of it all, is that the Saints were like, fuck, hey, we just tried to hire your brother at offensive coordinator. What about you, bro? Like, you know what I mean? So put him under fucking Dennis Allen as the assistant head coach with the offensive coordinator. Allen falters, fucking Gruden moves right into the head coach, dude. Like,
what I was going to say was, it would just be a story to be written. Derek Carr versus Tom Brady. John Gruden versus Josh McDaniels. New Orleans versus Las Vegas. Now, again,
And imagine if you got back-to-back years in that Super Bowl, dude, with those two teams. That'd just be the most craziest shit
There's no
ever.
way, Dustin. There would be no way to say that the NFL isn't scripted after that.
Fuck, I'd be like, well, they're trying to do the Cowboys-Niners all over again. So that's the thing. So look, that's why I say maybe it ain't scripted. Maybe it just fucking history's, like they say, history's bound to repeat itself at some point, because what people said in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, that the Niners and Cowboys was scripted, but then all of a sudden they fell off the face of the earth after that. So I don't know if we can always sit and say that something's scripted, or this is, what, maybe just sometimes that's how football works out, dude. I mean, it just sometimes tends to work out that way.
And
So
I'll be honest, Dustin, even if Tom Brady isn't our quarterback, what do we have to lose with Aiden O'Connell just learning? Wow.
I think Aiden's going to go out and win. Like, I really do. And I don't think he's going to go out and get, no 10-game season. But I think he can every bit go out and get 5 to 6 wins in his first season and play competitive football. But this is where the issue would be at that point. This is where this is where big time confliction is going to happen. If Aiden O'Connell has the potential to be a good quarterback, are you going to let him play out the season the way that it needs to play out with him playing, so he can go forward being the quarterback, and you're going to draft somebody else? Or is there a time in that point where you're like, man, we could really get either Drake Mays or fucking Caleb Williams here. We need to shut this kid down, and then that's where I just think, like, boy, we don't want to get caught in a saga like this every time, because now you're saying, like, if Hayden goes out, he plays good, they hit a dead spot. You're not trying to develop. You're trying to just move on for the next best thing.
We would be like the Titans then. We would be just like the Titans, drafting a quarterback in 2 straight years. Or it'd be like the Cardinals, 2 straight years of drafting quarterbacks.
Yeah, but I would agree with that. As long as Malik Willis had production, but he didn't. So I don't disagree with the way that they're drafting. What I would say is, let's say that we're in the first 10 games, right? And let's say in those first 10 games, Aiden O'Connell is at like 2,500 yards, 2,500. Let's just say 2,500, 12 touchdowns, and fucking like two or four picks.
Yeah.
Like, and you're losing, and this is a losing season. This isn't a winning season, because you're just losing out games right at the end. You know what I mean? Are you going to tell yourself that that's good stats? Like, that's phenomenal stats, dude, at the 10th game to have that those type of stats. And are you saying that you'd shut him down for Williams, or are you shutting him down because you can get better players to put around and develop? Like, that's where it's going to become an issue for our franchise, because does he become a backup player now?
I was going to say this. If we can just get the number 2 pick and take Marvin Harrison on shot, I think the problem would be, though, Dustin, I guess why you're telling me this, I guess would be, are we losing because the defense falters at the end again? Because then we would need to draft the best defensive player possible.
Yeah, I just don't want to get to a point where we know that I don't want to get to a point where Aiden's a good player and we're just going for what the rest of what Raider Nation would want. You can't do that, man. Like, you'd have to go, like, at that point in time, you'd have to be like, hey, Aiden's going to be our quarterback going forward, because the production's there. He's proven that he has the play tangibles. He's proven that he's probably going to win in big games. So it would be smarter to invest, like you just said, in a defensive type player, even if that's a fucking corner, no matter who the fuck this player may be. Exactly. It would be smarter to build that way and then roll with Aiden.
Because, Dustin, if we go out there and we finish this year under Aiden O'Connell as the top 10 offense, then we need to add to the defense. And we had plenty of money in that season.
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, we'll be like $60-70 million.
I thought we were going to be over like 90. I thought, well, we're starting with that, but we'll see how.
Yeah, I seen once everything's where we'd be is right around $58-60 million.
Which we could add to the defense.
And again, that's just saying with contracts right now and where shit, they could all change by the middle of the year easily. But like I say, I think at the end of the day, I think Josh and them have put us in the right spot that we need to be in. I've said we got Hoyer, we've got people that can most definitely take over. And look, man, if Jimmy's not in there, and I've even said I don't think Jimmy's going to be the guy that's going to take us to fucking Super Bowls and all this. I think Jimmy's a good player. I think he has every bit of as long as the defense and the offense works well, Jimmy can most definitely manage the team. There's not a doubt about it. But when you're sitting there saying, like, is Jimmy going to win us games? I'm just going to have to say no. So I think Jimmy's still only as good as the team is. Where I think Brady brings a different tangible to the team. Brady can win you games, and Brady can change the outcome of games. And the dynamic of the way that he sees it, views it, he still is one of the top passing leaders in the fucking NFL. The year before he had 5,000 yards. I think he led the NFL. Like, Brady is not in a deal where it, like, for instance, like, sucks. You know what I mean? Like, Brady still has very good play tangibles, play skill, play set. Honestly, so for me, I would think our best chance to win anyways at the end of the day would be Brady over Jimmy anyway, period. Well, yes.
And I mean,
I think if you go with Aiden, you just go with what happens. Like, that's what you do. If Aiden comes out and has fucking 12-game winning season, then who fucking robbed? And if Aiden comes out and only has 6 fucking wins or 4, well, guess what? That's what it, I mean, I heard people telling me earlier this morning, they said, well, look at Derek Carr. He started in his first year and he did good. Well, I don't know if you motherfuckers watched him play, but that fucking guy didn't even win a game till like week 11. Week 11 I think it was, and then he beat the Chiefs. He beat the Chiefs and beat somebody else. Again, he played good football. I won't lie. There was a lot with the team, but yeah, I mean, fuck to sit and say like he played well. If that's our standards, man, then Aiden ain't losing at all. You know what I mean? Like, if those are our standards, how we're looking at the way motherfuckers play football these days. Aiden going to be our starter for years to come.
Well, because here's the thing. I remember on your show, someone brought up how we were winning, and you were like, what winning are we doing? Because you look at what we've done. Sure, when players have produced, we've considered that a win, but our standards are so low. So, like, you know, I guess, you know, depending on who you ask, what a good season or not is. Our standards are so much lower because all we've had is low standards.
Yeah, and if you're putting your standards that low and accepting it, I mean, don't be a fucking fan of my team because I don't accept that shit. And I've even said, like, I believe Josh and Ziegler are doing a great fucking job. If people knew football and analyzed football, how it is with depth pieces, player pieces, the way that they've redone the offense, the way that we've got some defensive players. I mean, let's be real. Paul Amalu's production played pretty well last year. Masterson's played pretty well. Picking up Robert and fucking Epps, dude. Great fucking pieces that were added there, dude. But to just act like they weren't. Jenkins from the fucking Dolphins, another good added defensive tackle, and people just overlook that dude like he don't even exist. I mean, this is the thing. People, if it's not a big name, then motherfuckers aren't acknowledging it as it's a good piece. They want to take a guy like Duke Shelley and say Duke Shelley was a good piece, but Marcus Epps was way better. Like, that's the kind of shit I'm not understanding. Like, how in the fuck are you comparing a dude that played 7 games to a dude that's played all season? You know, like, that shit don't even make no sense.
Or how about in the NFL draft with Byron Young versus Jalen Carter? Jalen Carter was good, but
Jalen Carter got a $40 million, $45 million lawsuit on that motherfucker about his buddy getting killed and all these problems that are coming on. I would have taken Byron Young over him in a heartbeat, dude. I mean, he's got the same exact production, and even and real good analysts have projected that Byron Young will have a better career than fucking Jalen Carter. And people just overlook these things. He came from just as winning school. He's had just as much production. And people just bypass this shit because they're just so stuck on one individual's name. Go back in the NFL and look it up, dude. There's been numerous times that number one picks and number one overalls have been projected to be the next greatest talent ever in the face of this earth. And then guess what? A dude in the second or third round outproduces him. Or even a dude in the first that was taken later. Like, that's all I say. It's just somebody's opinion and how they view that person or how they think he's going to be. There is no validation to back it up that that's what it is. And that's all I say is people, when they look at the team or the players, you need to look at the whole deal. I've even said about production. People will say that Josh McDaniels garbage. I'll argue the fact that he was actually better than Derek Carr in 15 games with Derek Carr than Gruden was with 17, having a 4,800 yard season. Guess what? John Gruden had 1,300 fucking more yards that year, minus one less touchdown. Fuck, dude. Josh McDaniels had 15 games played, had just as many more touchdowns with the same exact fucking interceptions. So again, people said, oh, Carr fucking with this interception, he was leading. Well, it was Dak Prescott. That dude had 5 games, didn't even start, and still led the NFL with the fucking interceptions. But go look at the year under Gruden, the last year. Guess what? He had 23 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. Under Josh, he in 15 games, not 17. He had 3,500 fucking yards, 24 touchdowns, which is one more, and the exact same interceptions. And motherfuckers over here bashing him. Oh, this is that. Oh, you guys are stupid. You're stupid. The production on the field, Josh McDaniels had better production in 15 games than John Gruden had in 17. And that's the shit you guys don't look at. You guys just think a number. Oh, 4,800. I don't give a fuck. 4,800 yards, dude. 2 more games, fucking minus one less touchdown with 1,300 more yards. Like, fuck. Go give 1,300 yards to Josh McDaniels. Guess what? Carr probably would have had 29 fucking touchdowns to end out that season, dude. So he probably 29 or 30. Like, to sit here and be like, oh, fuck it. No, hell no. Production is done by the numbers and how you win, and which is done by fucking touchdowns, dude. Like, that's how that shit's done.
If we think about it also, too, to this point, where we were in the second year of, when we had the year of Henry Ruggs hitting, he had like 600 in the first 6-7 games or whatever.
Yep, he was stretching.
That team had a very good chance to have been a 11-12 winning team if Gruden and Henry Ruggs stayed.
Fast.
And then this past year, we would have won more.
Yeah, I think the way people analyze or look at football is some of them shouldn't even be looking at or analyzing it to begin with, because when you sit here and look at the way Josh and Ziegler and them, listen, I don't know how to say this any more than what I can say. Josh McDaniels took 2 fucking players, just 2 motherfuckers, and he had 3,500 yards and 26 fucking touchdowns. He produced more yards, more shit than a motherfucking starting quarterback in the NFL. Like, that's all it needs to be said is Josh took 2 players and outperformed starting quarterbacks on a whole team for the whole year. So I again, people can sit and say, oh, Josh this, Josh that. I'm going to say you're just dumb. You're dumb educated, probably don't know much about football. And I'd probably start paying attention more to that fucking defense, because that defense is trash.
Well, Dustin, so what would you say to the people that I can see it actively, that they're freaking out because we might have to cut Jimmy G? Those people are saying that, like, Ziegler and them made a mistake trying to even sign him in the beginning, knowing he was injured.
I'd be like, how is it a mistake if he put the causes in the contract to fucking be able to cut him and fucking be able to retain the money back? I would say no. He was pretty fucking aware of the fucking pretty aware of the situation. What he was doing is he's gambling. He's gambling that Jimmy was going to be healthy and that he can get him. And if not, I think he's like, hey, we got Brian Hoyer here and we got fucking. I don't think he wants to roll with like. I don't think that's like what he wants to do. But for me, I keep saying, and I even made a post about this a few months back before we ever even talked about getting fucking Jimmy. And I said, I would not be surprised to fucking see a match between Stenham, if Stenham stayed on the team, and Chase fucking Garbers, because Chase Garbers ain't no fucking slouch quarterback, dude. He's got great arm, great mobility. I think he's a great fucking player. So when I'm sitting here looking at our team and looking at us going forward, I see a lot of options, man, and I see a lot of good options, because to sit and say that we could have O'Connell possibly being the starter here, or we can have fucking Chase being there. I mean, I'm all good. I'm all for it, man. And if Jimmy comes, great. If Brady comes, great. I agree that the quarterback spot is a big problem at the moment. Like if Jimmy doesn't play, because that's what you're putting your money into. But again, I've said, if you got Tom Brady as an option or even considered to be an option, I don't see how you lose. So I think for me, I don't think it's I would, like I said, I mean, it's unrealistic to sit and say like we won, like we're not. I've said if he comes out and has a good season, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. That's just what it is at that point. And I've always said, if you're altering to your backups anyways at any point in the season, you're not going to fucking be looking to win anyways. So you're very lucky if you get a guy that comes in and just like, hey, I'm the next badass motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't work like that. So the more realistic odds are is that the backup's going to suck, and you'd probably be lucky if you win out a game. And I've said, like, Hoyer for me is a guy that's like, if you're in the third quarter, you're up 14, and you got to get your playoff spot, and you got to go get this win right here. Like, I think that's what Hoyer to me is like, he knows the system. He could probably go out and finish that game and not cause us any hinder. But to sit there and say, like, we're going to let him suit up week in and week out, and we're going to put in all our faith in him, well, fuck you.
Well, no, if you have all your faith in you, in Hoyer, don't expect playoffs. But
yeah,
what I was going to say was,
don't
Dustin,
expect shit.
I was going to say, Dustin, if you're in week 18 and you need to absolutely in the fourth quarter hold on to a 14-point lead, he can do it.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, he can probably go out
and win a game
some games. Yeah, exactly. I mean, 38 years old is not the end of anybody. You know, some people's careers these days.
Nowadays, quarterbacks can play up to like 15 years of football, dude.
That's what I'm saying. So Annie's been on the backup, so he's not like he's been fucking taking a beating and all this shit. So, you know, for me, I would love to see Jimmy start just to know, like, hey, that's our best continuity. I've said, like, don't be surprised if Brady fucking suits up. But at the end of the day, I would not be disappointed if we rolled with either Garbers or fucking O'Connell, whoever earned the spot. Whoever played better, whoever earned it, I would go with it, because I think at the end of the day, if you're going to give Josh any type of chance to develop or show that he can develop somebody, that's going to be it. So instead of criticizing, bashing dude all the time, how about let him go out there and see how his quarterback plays under pressure for the first time in his whole entire career? Like, that shit fucking matters, dude, because that tells you where he's at, how he got there, and where he's sitting in the team mentally.
I was going to say, I do believe, you know, whoever we roll out, I believe is the right option, because I do believe that they have faith in the right quarterback. But when we look at the schedule, how many wins do we see? Because I can see 9 to 11 wins. wins.
I mean, I already bet $1,000 that we'll be 10-7. So I mean, I think that's where our record is: 10-7, 10-7, 11-6.
Yep.
I've said I can see our team at 8-9 too. So I mean, there's a very good
Well, no,
possibility
the thing
if
is,
we don't get
it's
our
gonna
shit
matter.
together, we can probably be on the losing end. But
It's
this is the other thing I would have to say: if we're gonna give comparisons at the end of the day, where people are, where our team is. If John Gruden was able to come in and have 2 fucking years where he went 4-12, where he just took a playoff team that Jack Del Rio just went from fucking 12-4 to 8-9, and then he assumed the team, demolished the whole fucking thing, had a 4-12 season. Then his next year, I think, was fucking what was it, 7-8 or fucking 7-9, which I don't know. He had a losing record. But 7-9, I think, is what it was. But at the end of the day, if we're sitting there saying it was okay for Gruden to do that in year 2, and then year 3 he finally got his shit together, then that's the same standards that Josh has. Josh has the exact same fucking standards, because there's nothing. Listen, Gruden is not more polished outside of the fact that he went over to Tampa and won a Super Bowl with Tony Dungy's fucking team than fucking Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels is 40 years old, got 6 motherfucking rings, calling the game. Well, he has 5 calling the game, and fucking 6 being there because he was the offense quarterback coach.
I just want to take a moment to say this. You're right. We should not hold it. We should not be holding Josh McDaniels to any higher of a standard than
or
John
less. Yeah, or less. It should be the same.
Wait a minute.
Damn right.
It should be the same because John Gruden took over everyone says he took over a playoff team, right? So did John Gruden. John Gruden sucked for 2 years. It took him years to build his team. That's what McDaniels needed to do, and that's what he's still doing. Leave the man alone.
Let's be real. Gruden didn't even have a good team until year 3-4. So, yeah, 4. So, to sit here and say, like, oh, Gruden was this great. Like, I love Gruden, dude. He's my favorite coach of all time. But I've always said I'm not biased. I'm not biased to my team. I'm a fair evaluator. When I see shit, I see it. I don't care if it's good or not, I'm going to call it. And I'd be the first motherfucker to sit and say, Josh is a horrible coach. I look at football because I played it, right? So, look, this is arguments. People are going to say. People are going to say that, well, if Josh was a good head coach, why did he stag out in the second half? How come they weren't putting up points? How come they gave up point leads? This, that, and the other. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. You can't use the word giving up point lead unless he had the lead to begin with. So, therefore, it means that he already went out and got the fucking points. If he got 24 points in the first half, hey, it's up to the fucking defense to not let the other team get to 24 fucking points. It's not uncommon for teams to win games at 21, 24, 27, 28 points. So if Josh goes out in the first half and Derek and them go out and they ball out 24, 28 points, it's up to the defense to fucking keep it from getting to that point, period, in a game. Now, this is why I believe that the team fell off. I don't think it had much to do with the coaching with Josh and all of them. What I believe is, and I keep using this terminology because it's the only terminology I can get that people will understand, is when you play the game Madden. I play with the Raiders playbook, Raiders defense. That's what I've always played with, and that's what I always play, and I'll beat ass on that game. Long story short, I know a few other playbooks, New England's fucking the Bengals, dude. The Saints. I know a few other playbooks. I don't know very many of them, but I know a few. Now, let's just say that for instance, fucking Will over here, he plays with, let's just say he plays with New England, right? So we both play with 2 separate playbooks. We both know them very well. Mm-hmm. We both have winning ass records. We're both good players. Now, let's say that we show up. There's a ref. The ref says when we're starting the game, you can use your Raiders team, but you can't use your Raiders playbook. You can use your team, but you can't use New England's playbook.
Oh,
now,
no.
Guess what's going to happen? Let me reverse this. Let's say they tell me I get to use my playbook, you don't get to use your playbook. So this is the way it works. You're eventually going to get stagnant in there because watch, if I can't put you, and I'll use a perfect example.
Yeah.
If I take you and put you at 3rd and 15, right? And I do it one time, you can probably find a play in that book that's going to get you out of that play. Like you're going to be like, okay, this is kind of similar to a play I run to get out of this position. So you probably may get out of that play one time. Now, let's say that I get you in those spots 3, 4, 5 times in that game. Guess what? You get fucking predictable because you're going to try to run that same fucking play. I'm going to know it, and then I'm going to pick that shit off or I'm going to get the stop. The difference is you can't go into your book and instead of being in single back, being shotgun, instead of shotgun being weak, and instead of being weak, being strong. Like you can't do those things because you don't have those in that book in your mind have that type of play call. I think that's what happened with Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr knew about 40% of the fucking playbook, and I don't give a fuck how smart somebody is or how smart people think. You still have to know it, dude. Like, you still have to learn it. You got to still be out on the field and fucking see it.
I truly think everyone overreacted about Derek Carr's struggles. I think if he was to come in here again this year, he would have...
Oh, he would have been miles ahead. He would have been miles ahead.
Dude, Devontae even said it. He didn't know the playbook.
Yep.
Everyone said...
And that's all I try to say is like, the reason people get stagnant is just because they don't know more depth in the book. And this is the other thing I have to argue where I say that, where people would say, yeah, but that's on Josh. Okay, listen, that's on Josh, but this is on Josh too. Josh averaged 27.2 fucking points per game, bro. That wasn't even with Waller and Renfro and them. They were fucking injured. So to sit there and say that this motherfucker averaged that with Devontae Jacobs and Matt fucking Hollins, because that's really all that was playing at the fucking time, to sit and say that that's not good. He averaged out at 23.2 yards per fucking game. So that means Derek and them, being stagnant or not, was still averaging 24 points before the other team was taking over the league. So to sit and just bypass what Josh or the team has did, that's crazy as fuck. You can't start a story and just go to the middle of it and think that's where it begins. It doesn't work like that. The story begins on the first fucking page, no different than the game when it starts. That's where it starts, and guess where it ends when the bitch gets off. Like, that's where it fucking ends. Like, it doesn't end in the second quarter. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't end. Ask Tom Brady. It didn't end in the third quarter with 128 left in the Super Bowl, and he still went on and won that bitch. So where some motherfuckers choose to turn their shit off and quit doesn't mean that's where other people do too, you know? So, like I said, I think Josh is a great coach. I think Josh is going to be just fucking fine going forward in the future. And I think other people should just get educated on your fucking team before you speak on it, because there's more deals to a team than just fucking not liking an individual person. You don't like a person, that's your fucking problem. Nobody gives a shit about that. Like, I care about that we win. You know, at the end of the day, we need to win. That's what matters. And if that means Tom Brady comes here, he's better fucking... I bet Tom Brady be a better owner than Mark Davis ever thought of. Tom Brady can analyze players. Tom Brady can walk right down there and be like, yep, this offensive lineman shit, he ain't going to work. That receiver probably ain't going to have it because he does this. And they're going to be like, they ain't going to question him because they're going to be like, well, he got 7 Super Bowls and he's fucking learned behind Bill Belichick, one of the greatest football analysts of all fucking time. And, yeah, they're not going to question him. Mark Davis goes down there and be like, bitch, you ain't fucking know football, and you were with your dad for fucking 60 years, bro. Like, we know you're full of shit. Like, straight up. And that's all I'm saying. Brady comes out with more credit than Al or Mark did. Mark got the credit because of Al. Like, let's just be real about that. Mark got the credit because of Al fucking Davis. Brady got the credit because he went and earned that shit in the NFL. Don't end. So I say, I think our team's going to be all right, man. I mean, I don't give a fuck what guy's quarterbacking or not. I think we got a good team. I think as long as we put our shit together, we're going to be just damn fine. So,
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, if motherfuckers don't like that, then go be a fucking fan of the Saints and dick ride them while they fucking win. And I don't see bitches come back over here.
We already
and
have
come
fans that are
fucking
doing
support
that. We
got fans, YouTubers. We got all kind of motherfuckers doing that. We got some straight up bitch ass motherfuckers. Like,
dude,
I don't even get that shit, dude. Support your team or don't, dude. But fucking don't go supporting another motherfucking team and then hop back over here when we're winning. Like, that's straight bitch ass pussy shit.
Or how? Hey, you know what?
Like, you lose, you lose. Like, fucking, that's how life works.
Dustin, or the people there, like, that have the people that say that McDaniels is trash, but when we win games, they're gonna be like, "Oh, he's such a great coach."
Dude, they were jocking that bitch when they went on that 3 fucking game win streak, dude. Oh, look at Josh. Here he goes now. Look at he's getting these wins. Oh, blah, blah. You got fucking dick riding ass bipolar motherfuckers
dude,
over here.
Wait. When we when we had that winning streak where we beat, like, it was the Patriots, Broncos, Seahawks, they were like, "Oh my God, you know, he figured out how to win games. Oh, he's going to be a great coach." And then when he lost to the Niners and to the Chiefs, "Oh, he's so trash."
That's how these guys are, though, man. They're not even real fans.
Well, they don't
They're
know
not
what you're
real
saying.
fans. Like, they ain't going to come and talk that shit to me. I'll laugh at them right in their face, dude, and be like, "Listen, man, you want to take that fake bullshit somewhere else, you can go take that shit somewhere else." But the minute I can sniff it out, dude, I can sniff that bullshit out. Like, I can literally do it in 2 seconds. Like, motherfucker, I study my team so damn much, dude. Like, if there's not going to be a topic or a conversation that's going to come through that I'm going to be like, what? Where the fuck did that happen? I'm going to be like, nah, that shit did not happen. It's probably bullshit. And just like I said, with a lot of these guys, just straight fucking haters. They're biased ass haters. They don't take stats. They don't take statistics. They don't take nothing. They're just straight fucking haters. They want us to trade. They want us to trade or get rid of Davante so we can fire Josh. Like, you are stupid. You dumbass fucking fans. Any guy says that, I would be like, you're not even a real Raider fan. Like, you dumb as hell.
There was someone that said that we need to blow it up now and trade away Adams and Jacobs to get more cap space. I was like,
I would have told them they can blow up these nuts. Because fucking mean blow it up now. What do you mean? We already did. Like, I mean, if we're sitting here if we are not agreeing that this fucking team's been overhauled, you really fucking dumb. Like, you really, really fucking dumb, because look at the offense just alone. Every receiver on there fucking damn near brand new. Every tight end on that bitch damn near brand new. Fuck, the only continuity in that offense is the fucking halfbacks and partially of that offensive line. The defense been damn near overhauled the whole team. So what the fuck you mean that we ain't blowing it up? We already blew this bitch up. We took a grenade and said, whoop.
He said blow up these nuts.
Facts. That's what they need. I mean, fucking big old fucking sack in their face, because something ain't going right. Something ain't going right when you're fucking saying that kind of dumb shit. We already doing it.
Dude, because you look at the receiving core, Davante and Renfrow are the only two that stayed. And guess what? Renfrow might not even be here. And then beyond
that's facts. And the odds are Renfrow probably ain't going to be here. Why ain't he in camp? Why is that motherfucker not in camp, dude?
Hey, what about tight end, bro?
This fool about to get his shit. Whoop, whoop.
Who are the 3 tight ends we have now, at least? We have
Howard, OJ, and Mayer. Fucking beast-ass motherfuckers.
They're all new.
Howard looks like he's on fucking steroids over there. I mean, goddamn, dude's arm's as big as someone's fucking thigh, you know? Fucking guy's gonna murder people, dude. He might catch a record in the NFL this year, like a prison record. Like, Howard ain't no joke, man. Howard's fucking stacking.
Yeah, dude. It's. But I'm gonna make one last thing here. I'm gonna say we had an A off season. I do believe we had a better off season than we did last off season, because we picked up more depth and more talent, I believe. The offense, I think, is improved a ton.
Dude, I mean, just in the draft alone, dude. I mean, Tyree Wilson, Byron, Mayers, fucking Bennett, fucking Tucker, I mean, fucking Smith. I mean, damn, dude, we got a fucking lot of good-ass fucking players over there. Lot. Like, that's what I think, dude. Like, people be sleeping up on our team, apparently.
Anyone that was bitching about how we drafted Tyree Wilson, You guys will not be doing that by the end of the year. What happens by week? You know what? I want to make a prediction. I think by week 11, Tyree Wilson will be the second starting edge.
By what week?
I was gonna say by week 10 or 11, I could see him.
I mean, I wouldn't argue that because I think their main goal would be to move off of Chandler. Like I would want to move off Chandler because one, he's getting older, the contract's just a little stupid, and again we restructured, so we're holding on to that contract anyways. Stupid ass shit. But long story short is I would not disagree in that. I think 100% we can most definitely be like that by. I think he can most definitely be like that by week 10. I think he can probably be there sooner if fucking Chandler is fucking falling off. And I've said, like, don't fucking sleep on Malcolm Kuntz this year. Malcolm Kuntz about to come out here and fuck it up. So I would not sleep on Kuntz, man. I think Kuntz put on an extra 10 pounds. He's at like 260.
15. He added on 15 this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, if he added 15 pounds, he's at 265.
Yes, that's what was reported. I think at one point.
If he's 263, 264, Kuntz gonna bitch you. He's already bitching you at 249.
Dude, now you got Max Crosby, Chandler Jones, Malcolm Kuntz, and Tyree Wilson. All four of them.
You got Willis. You got Willis from the Niners. Fucking.
Oh yeah.
They got some few people over there that come out.
What's the chances we see?
Butler.
What's the chances we see a breakout season of Divine Diablo?
I don't know. I posted it. I mean, I don't know, man. That's a tough one because I think Divine. I've said it. If people are gonna sit here and jock fucking Perryman, then you gotta fucking jock fucking Divine because Divine was the top leading fucking tackler for the Raiders up to the time that he fucking was injured. And if you're gonna be all right with Perryman being the top fucking leading tackler and getting and that's how you want to give him credit, well, you got to give fucking Diablo the same fucking credit then, because he was leading him before then. So that's all I would say is like I would say I don't think it's unrealistic that he doesn't come out and have a great fucking season because I believe he has all the tangibles in the world to do it. It's just, can he do it? Like, that's what I think it all comes down to at the end of the day is, can that player make that transition to become that next player he needs to be? And Diablo's shown me that I believe he can be that player. I think Diablo will come out this year. I think he'll play great football. And I've even said, like I just said a minute ago, I think he was playing good football when he got hurt. So, and I don't care if people say, oh, he misses. I don't give a fuck. A lot of people miss tackles. It's football. Not everybody's going to tackle everybody in the game, dude. Like, don't work that way.
I mean, Jacobs is known for that, breaking tackles.
Damn right. And I mean, we're talking about handful of halfbacks in the NFL. Yeah, we're talking about a handful of dudes in the NFL that can do it to begin with.
Yep.
And then that's implying like they're not injured that week when we play them, which a lot more time than not they are. You know what I mean? It's shit like that. So for me, I mean, like I said, I think with where we're at, player-wise, depth-wise, I think we're doing good. So I think we're going to be just fine.
Well, I'm going to predict when it gets closer to the season. I said that I just want to come in and let you know, fuck the haters, man. Y'all don't know what you're saying. I mean,
facts. It's easier to hate than it is to fucking put support behind the team. It's like I keep saying, I can bring you to my property, put you in the D10, let you destroy this barn that's right in front of me, just demolish the motherfucker. Take you about 10, maybe 30 minutes just to fuck around. But when you're done with that, I tell you, all right, here's a fucking hammer and blueprints. Now clean that shit up and rebuild it. You're going to be like, yeah, fuck that. It's going to take me a year, probably more. You're right. You're right. Even knowing what you're doing. And the fact that you don't know what you're doing, man, may take you even longer. So I hate that these dudes just act like motherfuckers are going to come in and be just perfect right off the get. It's not. That is not real.
I just want to say here's the problem, right? It wasn't that these guys actually failed. It's the fact that our fan base failed itself by having high expectations for a first-year coach in a roster that wasn't his.
That's what I say. I say, when you put your expectations so fucking high and you don't even come close, you've already failed yourself before you started. Like, straight facts. Like, you literally failed yourself before you started, and then you're over there.
I truly believe, Dustin, I truly believe this is a year where we can have a top 5 offense.
I mean, with the way that Josh has been in his whole career, there's no doubt about it. Josh has been number one through 5 in scoring, number 1 through 5 in offense. And he's been that way for like 10 fucking straight years. So Josh ain't no slouch when it comes to that shit. When Josh gets his offense, it's going to be tough motherfucking offense to beat. So the problem is, even with that offense, you still need a defense to be able to stop fucking people from scoring and winning. So I've always said, look at Josh's offense in New England. He still needed Bill Belichick's defense to win.
What would you think the chances are of Patrick Graham improving as a defensive coordinator?
I mean, I think it's high because the thing where I would give him the credit at and why I think it would be that he has a high chance is the Senior Bowl game.
Yeah.
He got to develop that. He got to develop that. He got to build that. And like I've always said, if you're over here blaming Josh, if you want to blame Josh for the head coach, this and that, then you got to give Graham the credit for what he's done. Because that's how it works. That's how that shit works. So if you're discrediting one and giving the other, well, guess what? That goes the same way. And for me, Graham's shown that he can do it. So that's what I'm gonna roll with is Graham.
Yeah.
I think Graham can do it, man. I think he's got a good chance. And I've said when he got a chance to coach the team, put his people where he wanted, he beat the shit out of the other team. So it's just how I look at it. And then guess what? We got 6 out of 9 players off of that fucking Senior Bowl game on our team right now.
Yeah. And they've already learned under him. They already know what they're doing.
Yep.
But I will say that's going to be the end of today's show. Haven't really done this much. Maybe in a different show, me and Dustin here will go a little more in depth with who we got and where we see them fitting and how good we see this defense can improve. I would hope a top 20 defense. That's all I'm hoping for.
Facts. I mean, that's what I said. If we can get in the
if we would have
top 10, top 5 offense, top 20 defense, I think we can go win.
If last year we would have even had a top 20 defense, we would have won 11 games.
Yeah, it's facts.
But Tyree Wilson also, for anyone that sees him not as an A-grade pick, yeah, don't talk to me about it. Tyree Wilson was a great pick.
Yeah, I think Tyree Wilson was easily the best player on the board at our pick by a mile. So you can't go against it. It's like I've said, I wanted Christian Gonzalez, but I made it known numerous times that if Ziegler was on the board at that pick, he was probably going to go with Tyree Wilson. So I've made posts about it. I've made posts that said if Jalen Carter and Tyree Wilson were on the board at the exact same time, who would we go with? I said Tyree Wilson.
Tyree Wilson because he doesn't have legal trouble.
Yeah, a lot of times you just can't put your biased opinion into conversations. And I don't ever. That's why I think I get good grades or get good analysts on players, because I don't put biased opinions in on my players.
The problem is these guys just watched a player that they were hoping they could develop into. Having Henry Ruggs, they already saw what he could do with legal trouble.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, everybody's going to have their opinions. It's up to the kid and everybody to get their jobs done. And I've always said, for us, I just go with the guy that's has the least amount of problems to begin with. Like, that's just how I'm rolling anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well,
Not everybody's going to be a Ray Lewis, man, and it can't be like, oh, Ray did it. Well, that's one guy out of the whole NFL and the history of it. So I don't look at things like that.
everyone, me and Dustin will be back some other day with another video.
Hell yeah.
We might do weekly recaps at times to recap how we feel about the team doing, but I said that. Anyone that's whining about our general manager and head coach, go do it to someone who cares. I don't care what you have to say.
It's facts.